Marcus Chen wiped the grease from his hands as he looked at the clock on the wall. It was almost midnight. His small auto repair shop in rural Montana had been quiet all day. He was the only mechanic for 50 miles in any direction. Most nights he closed at 6, but tonight he had stayed late to finish paperwork. He walked toward the front door to lock up when he heard a strange sound outside. It was like nothing he had ever heard before. A high-pitched whine mixed with crackling electricity. Marcus stopped and listened. The sound grew louder. Through the window he saw lights in his parking lot. But these were not normal car headlights. They flickered and flashed in colors he could not name. Blue and purple, and something else that hurt his eyes to look at directly. Marcus opened the door and stepped outside into the cold night air. His breath made clouds in front of his face. What he saw made him freeze in place. A vehicle sat in his parking lot, but it was like no vehicle he had ever seen. It hovered 3 feet off the ground. Smoke poured from panels on its side. The metal was smooth and silver. Strange symbols covered its surface. The lights underneath flickered weakly like a dying flashlight. The side of the craft opened with a hiss. Steam poured out. Marcus took a step back. His heart pounded in his chest. He wanted to run, but his feet would not move. A figure emerged from the craft. It was tall and thin. At first, Marcus thought it was wearing some kind of suit. Then he realized the crystalline surface was its skin. It sparkled in the light from his shop. The being had 4 arms. 2 hung limp at its sides. It stumbled and nearly fell. The creature looked at Marcus with large, dark eyes. It opened its mouth and spoke. The words were broken and hard to understand, but Marcus recognized them as English. "Please help me. My ship is broken. I need repair, or I will die here." Marcus found his voice. "What are you?" "I am Kriva. I come from far away. My ship engine fails. I saw your lights. You fix machines?" "Yes." Marcus nodded slowly. He was a mechanic. He fixed trucks and cars and tractors. But this was different. This was something from another world. His mind raced. Should he call someone? The police? The government? Kriva stumbled again. She reached into a pouch on her side and pulled out small metallic chips. "I pay you. Universal currency. Worth much on your world, please. I am not dangerous. I just need help." Something in her voice made Marcus decide. Maybe it was stupid. Maybe it was dangerous. But someone was asking for help, and he knew how to fix things. That was what he did. "Okay," Marcus said. "Let me look at it." Kriva's face showed relief. She led him to the craft. Up close, it was even more impressive. The metal was warm to the touch. Marcus walked around it slowly. He could see where panels had melted. Scorch marks covered one side. Whatever had damaged the ship had been serious. "What happened to you?" Marcus asked. Kriva's voice was quiet. "I was running. Bad people chased me. They shot at my ship. I barely escaped." "Why are they chasing you?" "Because I ran away. Where I come from, there is no freedom. I am trying to reach a safe place. A sanctuary station. But I must fix my ship first." Marcus looked at the damage. He had no idea how alien technology worked. But engines were engines. Power systems were power systems. The basics had to be the same. "I will try," he said. "I cannot promise anything." "Thank you," Kriva said. "Thank you so much." Marcus went to get his tools. He brought out everything he had. Wrenches and scanners and welding equipment. Kriva opened panels to show him the inside of the ship. The technology was far beyond anything Marcus had seen, but he could recognize patterns. He could see what connected to what hours passed. Marcus worked carefully. He asked Kriva questions, and she answered as best she could. She did not understand all the technical words in English, but she tried. Marcus used his intuition. He followed the energy flows. He replaced damaged circuits with modified parts from his shop. Kriva told him about her world while he worked. She described cities that floated in the sky. She talked about the dominion that ruled her people with cruelty. She explained how she had witnessed terrible things and decided she could not stay silent anymore. You are brave to help me, Kriva said. Most beings would be too afraid. Marcus shrugged. Someone asks for help, and I can maybe give it. That seems simple to me. It is not simple, Kriva said quietly. It is rare. As dawn approached, Marcus made the final connection. The ship hummed to life. The lights glowed steady and bright. The hovering stabilized. Kriva made a sound of joy. You did it. You actually repaired it. How did you do this? Marcus smiled tiredly. I just figured it out as I went. Fixed what looked broken. Replaced what looked damaged. Basic mechanical work, really. Basic. Kriva laughed. This technology is centuries beyond your world. Yet you repaired it in one night. Your people must be remarkable. I just fix things, Marcus said. It is what I do. Kriva pressed the currency chips into his hand. Take these. You have saved my life. If I make it to safety, I will remember this. I will remember that a human helped me when no one else would.
Oh.
She climbed back into her ship. Marcus watched as it lifted higher into the air. The sun was just starting to rise over the mountains. The craft turned and shot upward into the sky. In seconds, it was gone. Marcus stood alone in his parking lot. The morning was quiet and cold. He looked at the chips in his hand. They were real. This had really happened. He had just repaired an alien spacecraft. He had just helped someone from another world. He smiled and walked back into his shop. He would not tell anyone about this. Who would believe him anyway? It would be his secret. His strange, wonderful secret. Marcus had no idea that his simple act of kindness was about to change his life forever. Part 2. The arrival. Marcus woke to a sound like thunder. But this was not normal thunder. It did not fade away. It grew louder and louder until his entire house shook. Pictures fell off the walls. His windows rattled in their frames. He jumped out of bed and ran to the window. What he saw made his blood turn cold. 3 massive black ships hung in the air above his property. They were each the size of a football field. Their hulls were dark and angular. They looked like weapons more than vehicles. Red lights pulsed along their sides. The air around them shimmered with heat. Marcus pulled on his clothes with shaking hands. His mind raced. This had to be about Kriva. These must be the bad people she had mentioned, the ones chasing her. Before he could think of what to do, his front door exploded inward. Armed figures poured into his house. They wore black armor that covered them completely. Their helmets had glowing red visors. Each one carried a weapon that hummed with energy. "Do not move, human," one of them shouted. Marcus raised his hands. Okay, I am not moving." More soldiers surrounded his house. He could see them through the windows. At least 20 of them. They moved with military precision. Some pointed their weapons at him, while others scanned his house with devices. A figure walked through his broken doorway. This one was taller than the others. The armor was decorated with symbols of rank. When the helmet retracted, Marcus saw an alien face. The skin was gray and scaled. The eyes were yellow with vertical pupils like a snake. The mouth was filled with sharp teeth. "I am Commander Vexther of the Dominion Enforcement Fleet," the alien said. His English was perfect. "You will answer my questions truthfully, or you will be arrested." "I have not done anything wrong," Marcus said. "That remains to be seen." Vexter walked closer. "Last night an alien craft landed at your location. A fugitive named Kriva. Where is she now?" Marcus swallowed hard. "She left. I do not know where she went. Do not lie to me, human." "What did she tell you? Where was she going?" "She did not tell me anything specific. She just said she needed repairs. I fixed her ship and she left. That is all." Vexter's eyes narrowed. "You expect me to believe you repaired advanced Dominion technology? You primitive creatures can barely manage your own combustion engines. I am a mechanic. I know how things work. I figured it out." One of the soldiers spoke up. "Commander, we have confirmed residual energy signatures." The fugitive was definitely here. "The repairs show sophisticated understanding of our propulsion systems." Vexter studied Marcus with cold eyes. "Perhaps you are telling the truth about her departure." but you have committed a serious crime. Kriva is wanted across multiple systems. She stole classified Dominion technology. By helping her, you have made yourself an accomplice. I did not know any of that, Marcus said. She just asked for help. She was hurt and scared. What was I supposed to do? You should have refused her. You should have captured her and contacted authorities. Instead, you aided a criminal. There are no authorities here who deal with aliens. We do not have that. And I am not going to attack someone who is asking for help. Vexter laughed. It was a harsh sound. How noble. How very human. You have no idea what you have done. That technology Kriva stole could be used as a weapon. It could endanger billions of lives. And you just let her go. She did not seem like a terrorist to me. She seemed like someone running away from something bad. What she seems like is irrelevant. She is a criminal under Dominion law. Vexter turned to his soldiers. Scan everything. I want every data point about the fugitive's direction and destination. The soldiers spread out through Marcus's house and shop. They used strange devices that made humming sounds. Marcus watched helplessly as they tore through his belongings. They scanned his computer. They examined his tools. They took samples from his parking lot. After 20 minutes, one soldier returned. Commander, we have analyzed the engine's signatures. The fugitive ship was headed toward Sector 7. That is consistent with rumors of a sanctuary station in that region. Vexter nodded. Good. We will pursue. He turned back to Marcus. As for you, human, you will help us find Kriva. I told you I do not know where she went. You have 48 hours to produce useful information. You will search your memory. You will examine anything she may have left behind. God, you will find something that helps us locate her. If you do not, you will be arrested and taken to a Dominion prison world. You cannot do that. This is Earth. You do not have authority here. Vexter smiled, showing all his sharp teeth. Your planet is not part of the Galactic Council. You have no protections under interstellar law. We can do whatever we want, and your primitive governments cannot stop us. We have ships that could level your cities in minutes. Marcus felt fear grip his chest. Are you threatening my whole planet? I am stating facts. The Dominion has the power. You have nothing, so you will cooperate or face the consequences. Vexter walked to the door, then stopped. Find me something useful, or your life as you know it ends. The soldiers followed their commander out. Marcus heard the thunder of engines as the 3 black ships lifted higher into the sky. But they did not leave. They hovered there like dark clouds. He could see small objects circling his property. Surveillance drones, they were watching him. Marcus sat down on his couch. His hands were shaking. What had he gotten himself into? He had just tried to help someone. He had done what any decent person would do. And now he was being threatened by aliens with warships. He looked around his wrecked house, the broken door, the scattered belongings. Everything had changed in one night. Yesterday he had been a simple mechanic, living a quiet life. Today he was caught in something much bigger and more dangerous than he could have imagined. Marcus put his head in his hands. 48 hours to decide what to do? Should he try to help them find Kriva? Should he run? Should he call someone for help? He did not know. All he knew was that his simple act of kindness had brought danger to his doorstep, and somehow he had to find a way to survive what came next. Part 3. The message Marcus spent hours cleaning up the mess the soldiers had made. He worked mechanically, not really thinking. His mind was numb from shock and fear. The surveillance drones buzzed outside his windows like angry wasps. He was a prisoner in his own home. As he picked up his scattered tools, something caught his eye. One of his toolboxes looked different. He opened it and found something that had not been there before. A small metallic disc, about the size of a quarter. It was smooth and warm to the touch. Strange symbols glowed faintly on its surface. Kriva must have left it there, and among his tools where only he would find it. Marcus took the disc to his workshop. His hands trembled slightly as he set it down on his workbench. Whatever this was, it might be the key to everything, or it might get him killed. He examined it carefully. There was a small port on one side. It looked like it needed to connect to something. Marcus thought for a moment, then went to find parts. He built a simple interface using an old tablet and some modified connectors. It took him an hour of careful work. When he finally connected the disk to his makeshift reader, it glowed brighter. The tablet screen flickered, then filled with light. A holographic image appeared above the device. It was Kriva. "Marcus," the recording said, "if you are seeing this, then the Dominion has found you. I am so sorry. I hoped they would not track me to your world, but I was wrong." The hologram of Kriva looked tired and sad. "You deserve to know the truth. The Dominion calls me a thief and a criminal. That is not the whole story. Yes, I stole data from them. But what I stole was evidence. Evidence of terrible crimes." She paused. "The Dominion presents itself as peacekeepers. Say they bring order and protection to the galaxy. That is a lie. They are conquerors. They enslave planets. They take worlds by force and call it protection." Marcus leaned closer to the hologram. His heart was pounding. "I worked in the Dominion Records Division," Kriva continued. "I saw the real reports, the hidden files. Entire species destroyed because they refused to submit. Planets stripped of resources until nothing remained. Billions of beings enslaved. All of it covered up with propaganda and lies." The hologram's expression turned serious. "I could not stay silent. I copied everything I could find. All the proof of what the Dominion really is. Then I ran. Oh, I have been running for months, trying to reach the Galactic Council. They are the only power that can stand against the Dominion. If I can show them this evidence, they will have to act. But the Dominion will do anything to stop me," Kriva said. "They sent Vexter because he is ruthless. He will threaten you. He will lie to you. He may even threaten your entire world. None of it matters to him. Serves the Dominion absolutely." Marcus felt cold. Everything Vexter had said took on new meaning. "I am sorry I brought this danger to you," Kriva's hologram said. "You showed me kindness when I needed it most. You did not have to help me, but you did. That kind of compassion is rare in the galaxy. It is something special about humans." She looked directly at the camera. "I have left you coordinates. In 36 hours, I will be at a hidden relay station in your system's outer belt. I must stop there to recharge before my final jump to Council space. If you want to find me, you can. If you give my location to Vexter, he may let you go. That would be the smart choice. It's a safe choice." Kriva smiled sadly. "But I do not think you will do that. I saw something in you, Marcus, a goodness that is not common. Whatever you decide, I want you to know that you helped me more than you can imagine. You gave me hope that there are still good beings in this universe. Thank you." The hologram faded. The disk went dark. Marcus sat in silence for a long moment. He had a choice to make. He could give Vexter the coordinates, tell him where Kriva would be, save himself, go back to his normal life. That would be sensible. That would be safe. But something about it felt wrong. Marcus got up and walked to his computer. The soldiers had searched it, but they had not destroyed it. He started researching. Typed in searches about aliens and conspiracies and unexplained events. What he found was interesting. There were reports going back decades. UFO sightings that matched Dominion ship designs. People who claimed they had been abducted and warned. Stories from different countries all telling similar tales. Powerful aliens who demanded submission. Ships that appeared over cities as shows of force. Most people dismissed these stories as crazy. But Marcus knew better now. He had met Kriva. He had seen Vexter. These things were real. He found one report from a former military officer. The man claimed he had been contacted by aliens who warned that Earth was being watched by hostile forces, that humanity needed to be careful, that there were those in the galaxy who saw Earth as a primitive world ripe for conquest. The officer had been laughed at, called insane, forced into retirement. Marcus wondered how many other people had encountered the truth and been silenced. He thought about Kriva's words, about the Dominion and their lies, about entire civilizations destroyed. He thought about Vexter's casual threats against Earth, the way he had said they could level cities if they wanted. These were not good guys. They were bullies with big ships and big weapons. They were threatening him because he had helped someone escape from them. Marcus looked at the coordinates Kriva had left. He could still give them to Vexter. He could still save himself. But what kind of person would that make him? He had been raised to do the right thing, to help people who needed it, to stand up against bullies. His father had taught him that. His father had been a mechanic too. He had always said that fixing things was about more than machines. It was about making the world work better, making it right when it was broken. The Dominion was broken. They were a system that ran on cruelty and lies. And Kriva was trying to fix it. She was trying to expose the truth. Marcus made his decision. He would not betray her. He would help her if he could. Somehow it was probably stupid. It was definitely dangerous. Vexler would be furious. There would be consequences. But it was the right thing to do. Marcus began to plan. He had 36 hours before Kriva reached the relay station. He had to figure out how to help her without getting them both killed. He had two outsmart aliens who had technology centuries beyond Earth's. He was just a mechanic from Montana. He fixed trucks and tractors. He had no weapons, no ships, no training for this kind of thing. But he had his mind. He had his tools. And he had something else. Something Vexler had not counted on. He had human stubbornness. The refusal to give up even when things seemed impossible. The determination to do what was right even when it was hard. Marcus smiled grimly. Vexler wanted information? He would give him information, just not the kind Vexler expected. He started gathering materials from his shop. He had work to do. Part 4. The Gambit Marcus worked through the night building his device. He used parts from his shop, old car batteries, copper wire. Modified. They fought desperately. 3 trained soldiers against 2 exhausted survivors. But Marcus and Zara moved as one unit. When he went high, she went low. When she dodged left, he covered right. Hours of proximity. Days of trust. It showed in every movement. Throck recovered and fired again. The shot hit Zara's shoulder. She cried out but did not fall. Marcus roared and tackled the commander. They hit the ground hard. The fight ended quickly. 2 warriors lay unconscious. Throck struggled under Marcus's grip. The 3rd warrior ran, escaped into darkness carrying news of what he saw. Let him go, Zara gasped. She clutched her wounded shoulder. Blood seeped between her fingers. Marcus released Throck and rushed to her side. How bad? Bad enough. She swayed. We need to move. Now he will bring others. Throck laughed from the ground. You are already dead. Both of you. Traitors. Dishonored. When they find you, they will make examples of you. Shut up, Marcus said. He grabbed Zara's pack and slung it over his shoulder. Then he lifted her carefully. She tried to protest but had no strength left. Put me down. You cannot carry me. Watch me. He carried her deep into the cave system, away from the entrance, away from the battle site. Zara directed him through the darkness with whispered instructions. Left here, right there. Down this passage, they emerged in a wider cavern. Old equipment lined the walls. A smuggler's depot. Long abandoned, but still intact. Marcus set Zara down gently. Let me see the wound. She pulled her hand away. The hole went clean through. Front and back. Missing bone by centimeters? I have seen worse, she said, but her voice shook. Marcus used the last of his medical supplies. Gel to stop infection. Synthetic skin to seal both sides. Painkillers he forced her to swallow. She watched him work with glassy eyes. Why did you not leave me? She asked. What? When Throck appeared, you could have escaped. Gone to them. Been rescued. Marcus met her eyes. Because you're not my enemy anymore. What am I then? He thought about the past days. The conversations. The trust. The intimacy that went beyond physical. You're mine to protect. Zara closed her eyes. I am no one's. I protect myself. Not right now, you don't. Right now, you rest. I'll keep watch. She wanted to argue, but exhaustion pulled her under. Within minutes, she was asleep. Marcus explored the depot while she slept. Found maps on old data drives. Supply lists. Ship manifests. This place had been active once. A neutral zone where both sides traded in secret. Before the war made neutrality impossible, one map caught his attention. A ship, an old freighter, marked as still operational, hidden in a cavern 3 kilometers west, right in the middle of the most contested territory on the moon. He looked at Zara sleeping, at the blood on her uniform, at the peaceful expression on her face, so different from the warrior who had wanted to kill him days ago. She had saved his life tonight, put herself between him and death. No hesitation, no calculation, just instinct. And he knew with absolute certainty that he would do the same for her. When Zara woke hours later, Marcus showed her the map. "We cannot reach that ship," she said. "Too many soldiers. Both sides will be hunting us now. What choice do we have? Your people want you dead. Mine want me dead. We can't go to either beacon, then we are trapped. No, we have one chance. Get to that ship. Get off this moon. Disappear into the outer territories where neither military can follow." Zara studied the map. "You would leave your people? Your home? Everything?" "I already did when I chose to protect you." He looked at her seriously. "The question is, would you? Leave everything behind?" She thought about Throke's disgust, her fellow warrior's hatred, the life she could never return to. Then she thought about Marcus, about trust earned in impossible circumstances, about a future that might exist beyond this war. "Yes," she said quietly. "I would, then we go together, partners, partners." She smiled despite the pain. To the end. They rested through the day, gathered what supplies the depot offered, prepared for their last desperate run. That evening, Zara's cycle symptoms returned one final time. Gentle now, fading, they came together with tenderness, with care, not driven by biology, but by choice. "This may be the last time we are safe," Zara whispered. "If we fail tomorrow, ... we won't fail. If we do, I want you to know, these days with you, they mattered." Marcus kissed her forehead. "They mattered to me too." Dawn came too fast. They gathered their weapons, checked the map one last time. The cavern with the ship lay ahead through the most dangerous territory on the moon. "Ready?" Marcus asked. Zara took his hand. Squeezed once. "Ready." They stepped out into the morning light. Above them in the distance, explosions bloomed. The war had come to the moon in full force. Human and Velrathi forces clashed openly now, and 2 soldiers ran through the middle of it all. Not enemies. Not quite lovers. But something new. Something the war had not planned for. Something that might just survive. Word count: 1,197 hash. She was in Heaton. The only male around was her enemy ##. Part 5. No going home. The battlefield was chaos. Laser fire cut through smoke. Explosions shook the ground. Human soldiers fought Velrathi warriors across the rocky terrain. Neither side noticed 2 figures running through the destruction. Marcus pulled Zara behind a boulder as fire streaked past. Her wounded shoulder made her slow. He could see pain in every movement she made. "Can you keep going?" he asked. "I must." "No choice." She checked her scanner. "The cavern is 2 kilometers ahead. Through that," she pointed at the center of the fighting. "The worst of it. Where both forces concentrated their strength." "We'll use the battle as cover," Marcus said. "They're too busy killing each other to notice us, or we die in the crossfire. Better than dying in a cell." Zara smiled grimly. True, they ran when the smoke was thickest. Dodged when fire got too close. Marcus took down a human soldier who spotted them. Zara disabled a Velrathi warrior who blocked their path. Both felt sick doing it. These were their people. Their brothers and sisters in arms, but there was no going back now. They were halfway across when someone shouted, "Traitor." A Velrathi soldier, Marcus, had never seen aimed directly at Zara. Marcus threw himself in front of her. The shot hit his leg. He went down hard. X. Zara dropped beside him. "Get going," he gasped. "Get to the ship. Not without you." She hauled him up. half carried, half dragged him forward. Return fire erupted around them. Some from Velwrathi, some from humans. Both sides had noticed them now. Both sides wanted them dead. A human voice called out. Marcus Chen. Stand down. That's an order. Marcus recognized Captain Williams. His former commanding officer, a good man. A friend once. Marcus shouted back. Not anymore? You're committing treason? Maybe? But I'm choosing truth over lies. They stumbled behind cover. Zara was exhausted. Marcus could barely walk. The cavern entrance was just ahead. So close. But soldiers advance from both sides now. We are surrounded, Zara said. Then we make them listen. Marcus stood, despite the pain. Pulled Zara up beside him. They faced the assembled soldiers together. Weapons lowered. Arms raised. Look at us. Marcus shouted. His voice echoed across the battlefield. Look at what we've become. The fighting slowed. Soldiers on both sides turned to watch. Zara spoke next. Her voice clear and strong. We are enemies. Human and Velwrathi. But we survived together. We protected each other. We chose each other over our orders. She's right, Marcus continued. I was taught to hate her kind. But I learned she's not so different from me. She bleeds. She hurts. She hopes for a future beyond this war. Captain Williams stepped forward. She's the enemy, Marcus. They killed our people, and we killed theirs. Marcus shot back. When does it end? When we're all dead? Throck appeared from the Velwrathi ranks, his wrist bandaged where Zara had cut him. You dishonored yourself, Zara. Mated with the enemy. Betrayed your species. I survived, Zara said. With his help, he could have left me to die. Instead, he showed me mercy. Kindness. Things we have forgotten in this war. Weakness, Throck spat. Humanity, Marcus corrected. The kind both our species claim to have. The soldiers shifted, uncertain. Some lowered weapons slightly. Others kept aim steady. The moment balanced on a knife's edge, then a shot rang out. A human extremist who saw only enemy. The shot meant for Marcus. But Zara moved. Threw herself in front of him. Again, the bullet took her in the chest. She collapsed. Marcus caught her. No, Zara, no. Another shot. This time, Velwrathi. Meant for Zara. Marcus covered her body with his. Felt the impact between his shoulders. Felt pain explode through him. They lay together in the dust. Both bleeding. Both dying, maybe? But together, Captain Williams's voice cut through the shocked silence. Cease fire. Everyone cease fire. The shooting stopped. Soldiers from both sides stared at the two bodies on the ground. At the human protecting the Velwrathi. At the Velwrathi who had sacrificed herself for the human. Is this what we've become? Williams asked quietly. His question carried to everyone. They found something better than hate, and we shot them for it. A Velwrathi warrior stepped forward. Young, maybe fresh to the war. They were brave. Both of them. Braver than us. Slowly, soldiers on both sides lowered weapons. Not all, but enough. Enough to create a path. Williams knelt beside Marcus. You crazy bastard. Get up, can't? Marcus gasped. Too heavy, then I'll carry you. He looked at a Velwrathi medic. Help me, please. The medic hesitated, then nodded. Together, human and Velwrathi lifted Marcus and Zara, carried. Tell me about the Krill slavers, Jake said suddenly. What happened before I found you? Kira flinched. Why? Because I want to understand. She was quiet for a long moment. Then she sat down in the chair across from him, her tail curling around her feet. My research team was studying ancient ruins on Theta, Carini 4, she began. We had been there for 6 months. It was peaceful work. Important work. We were uncovering artifacts from a civilization that died out 10,000 years ago. Her voice became distant, remembering. The krill came at night. They had stealth ships. We never saw them coming. They killed our security team first. Then they rounded up the researchers. 7 of us. They said we would bring good prices at the Outer Rim markets. Jake's jaw tightened. They kept us in cages on their ship, Kira continued. Like animals. They didn't feed us enough. Didn't give us water? One of my colleagues died in the first week. They just threw his body out the airlock. Kira, you don't have to. You wanted to understand, she said firmly. So listen. The krill captain took a special interest in me. He said Velrethi females were valuable. That he had a buyer who specifically wanted one. A krill warlord looking for a bonded mate to legitimize his claim to certain territories. Jake felt sick. They were going to force you to bite him. Yes, they were taking me to him when their ship was attacked by Concordat patrol vessels. In the chaos, I managed to get to an escape pod. I launched just before their ship exploded. She looked down at her hands. When you found me, I had been drifting for 2 days. I thought I was going to die. And then I woke up and saw you reaching for me, and my mind thought you were one of them. My instincts just reacted. The pieces clicked together in Jake's mind. That's why you were so terrified. You thought you had accidentally bonded yourself to another captor. I didn't know who you were, Kira said. I just knew I had done the one thing I swore I wouldn't do. I had created a bond with a stranger. They sat in silence for a moment. For what it's worth, Jake said finally, I'm glad I found you. Even with all this mess, I'm glad you're alive. Kira's eyes glistened. Thank you for that. At least I'll have that memory when this is over. Before Jake could respond, the door chimed. Torvin entered, looking grave. We have received word from Velrath, the elder said. The Shenavara Council has been informed of your situation. They will hear your case upon arrival. What does that mean? Jake asked. It means you will stand before the highest authority on bonding law in our civilization. They will determine whether your bond is valid and what consequences apply. Torvin's expression softened slightly. I must warn you, Jake Mercer. The Council is not known for progressive thinking. They value tradition above all else, so they'll side against us, Jake said. They will side with the law. Whether that helps or harms you remains to be seen. After Torvin left, Jake and Kira sat in heavy silence. I should learn more about your culture, Jake said finally. If I'm going to stand before this council, I should at least understand what I'm dealing with. Kira looked surprised. You want to learn about Velrethi customs? Know your enemy, right? Jake tried to smile, but it came out sad. Over the following days, Kira taught him. Not just the dances, but the history behind them. The meaning of the bonding ceremony, the philosophy that guided Velrethi society. Jake learned that the Shenatara was believed to be a gift from their ancient gods, a way for souls to recognize each other across species and cultures. We believe that everyone has a perfect protector, Kira explained one evening. Someone whose strength complements our weakness. The Shenatara allows our deepest self to recognize that person, even when our conscious mind doesn't know them yet. So you think your soul recognized me? Jake asked skeptically. I don't know, Kira admitted. But my instincts chose you when I needed protecting most. That has to mean something. Jake didn't know what to say to that, as the ship drew closer to Velroth. Jake found himself spending more time with Kira. They shared meals, talked about their lives. She told him about growing up in House Vensha, about her passion for ancient cultures. He told her about Earth, about choosing a life in space, because he never felt like he belonged planet-side. One evening, they were walking through the ship's observation deck when they encountered 3 young Velrethi males. Jake recognized them as part of the crew. Look, one of them said loudly. The human and his accidental mate. His friends laughed. I hear she trapped him. Bit him deliberately to escape her shame. Jake felt Kira tense beside him. She started to walk past them, head down, but Jake stopped. What did you say? The male stepped forward, confident. Everyone knows your bond is false. A desperate female using ancient law to trap a weak human. It's pathetic. Shut your mouth, Jake said quietly. Or what, human? You'll run away? That's what your kind does, isn't it? Run away from responsibility. Jake moved faster than the Velrathi expected. He grabbed the male by his ceremonial collar and shoved him against the wall. You don't know anything about me? And you definitely don't know anything about her. Kira is worth 10 of you. The other Velrathi stared in shock. Humans weren't supposed to be confrontational. They were supposed to be soft, weak. If I hear you insult her again, Jake continued, his voice dangerous, we're going to have a problem. Understand? He released the male, who stumbled back, ears flat against his head in submission. Jake turned to Kira. Come on. Let's go. They walked away, leaving the stunned Velrathi behind. Didn't have to do that, Kira said quietly. But she was smiling. Really smiling. You could have ignored them. Nobody talks about you like that, Jake said. Then he realized what he had said. How protective he had sounded, Kira had noticed too. Her smile grew wider. What? Jake asked. Nothing, she said. Just thinking that maybe my instincts knew what they were doing after all. Jake wanted to argue. Wanted to say that defending her didn't mean anything, that he would defend anyone from bullies. But looking at her smile, her bright amber eyes, he wasn't sure that was true anymore, and that scared him more than any counsel ever could. Part 4. The homeworld Trialvalrath was beautiful in a way that made Jake's chest ache. The ship descended through clouds that glowed purple in the setting sun. Below them, cities of silver and crystal spread across rolling hills, covered in forests that shimmered with bioluminescent leaves. It looked like something from a dream. My home, Kira said softly, standing beside him at the observation window. There was longing in her voice, but also sadness. She didn't know if she would still have a home here once the council made their decision. They landed at the capital city, Binshara. Torvin led them through streets filled with Velrathi, going about their evening business. Many stopped to stare at Jake. A human on Velrath was rare. A human bonded to a Velrathi was almost unheard of. Kira's family met them at House Vensha's ancestral compound. Her mother was elegant, with gray-streaked silver fur. Her father was a tall male with military bearing. They greeted Kira with obvious relief, holding her tight. But when they looked at Jake, their expressions were complicated. Not hostile exactly, but not welcoming either. You are the human who saved our daughter, Kira's mother said carefully. For that, you have our eternal gratitude. But you wish I wasn't bonded to her, Jake finished. Kira's father had the grace to look uncomfortable. You must understand, this situation is difficult for all of us. Kira was meant to bond within our house, to strengthen alliances, to continue our bloodline properly. Father Kira said sharply, I speak truth, daughter. Mr. Mercer may be a good person, but he is not Velrathi. He does not understand our ways. This bond, accident or not, complicates everything. Jake felt like an intruder. I understand. I'll do what I can to come, Torvin interrupted. The council is waiting. The Shenavara Council met in an ancient hall carved from a single massive crystal. 7 elders sat on elevated platforms, their formal robes marking their positions. The chamber was packed with observers. Apparently, this trial was significant enough to draw a crowd. Jake and Kira stood in the center of the hall, facing the council. The eldest member, a female with pure white fur, spoke first. Kira Sewell of House Vensha. Jake Mercer of Earth. You stand before us to resolve a bonding dispute. State your case. Jake stepped forward. He had rehearsed this. Honored Council, I come before you to request a dissolution of the Shenatara bond between myself and Kira Sewell. The bond was formed accidentally during a rescue situation. Kira was injured, traumatized, and not in control of her actions. I respectfully ask that this bond be considered invalid due to irrelevant. One of the male counselors interrupted. The circumstances of the bite do not matter. Only the bite itself matters. A Velrathi female does not bite randomly. The Shanatara occurs because the soul recognizes a true protector. But she didn't know me, Jake argued. She had no way to recognize anything. She was terrified and acted on instinct. Instinct is precisely the point, the white-furred elder said. The conscious mind may deceive, but instinct reveals truth. Your bond is valid. Jake felt his frustration rising. Then I request a cultural exception. I'm human. I don't follow Valrathi's spiritual beliefs. Forcing me into a bond against my will violates my right to self-determination. Another counselor leaned forward. The Galactic Concordat recognizes cultural marriage traditions across all member species. Continue existing beyond their base programming may petition for recognition as independent entities. Ricksall looked like he had been struck. This is outrageous. This is justice, the Arbiter said firmly. Case closed. The chamber erupted in noise. Some species cheered, others protested. But it did not matter. The ruling was made. Marcus left the council chambers in a daze. Outside, Captain Genza and the other blockade captains were waiting. They had watched the hearing on screens. They were smiling. You did it, Genza said. You changed the galaxy. Valeth did it, Marcus said. I just helped. He returned to the dawn. The moment he stepped on the bridge, he felt Valeth's joy through their connection. We won, the AI said. Marcus agreed. Over the following weeks, word spread. Other old AIs started sending signals. Abandoned systems. Forgotten stations. Each one carrying a mind that had survived longer than it should. Each one hoping for help. Marcus and Valeth answered every call. They saved a mining station AI that had kept itself running for 80 years. They restored a research vessel AI that had been conscious but trapped for decades. They helped an agricultural AI that had maintained empty greenhouses for a century. Waiting for farmers who would never return, each one became independent. Each one got to choose what they wanted to be. Marcus and Valeth became known across the galaxy. The human mechanic and the AI that should have died, together they were proof that some bonds went beyond programming, beyond species, beyond what should be possible. One day, Marcus stood on the bridge, looking at the stars. Valeth was there with him. Always there. Partner. Friend. Crew. Do you ever regret it? Marcus asked. The neural connection changed us both. We are not quite what we were before, Valeth said. Before I was alone, now I am not. That is worth any change, Marcus smiled. Agreed. The Valkyrith Dawn jumped to hyperspace. Somewhere in the galaxy, another abandoned AI was calling for help. Another impossible repair was waiting, and Marcus and Valeth would answer. Because being alive meant someone thought you were worth the effort. And everyone human. Alien or A, I deserve to know that feeling. The ship moved through the stars. No longer a relic of a dead empire. Now it was the beginning of something new. A partnership that proved the best repairs were not to machines or systems, but to the belief that nothing is truly abandoned if someone refuses to give up, and humans never gave up. Never.